So they sold her a 2019 Ram 1500 ST crew cab, Hemi, brand new. They sold her for $55,000 and took $2,000 down from her. And we ended up getting her a 2020 Ram ST 1500 and we sold her. Hi guys, I'm AJ, and on this episode of the House of Cars podcast, I have Brent here from our House of Cars 17th Ave location to talk about the horror stories that we've had in the auto industry and how transparency is king.
Bought a Ram Sport off of us. Unfortunately, the airbag suspension in the back in Alberta weather doesn't really go with minus 40.
Okay.
So he went up to his cabin in Saskatchewan and he came back at 60 kilometers an hour with one airbag frozen.
Ooh.
That air ride system is great for a lot of people, but if you aren't prepared for it, you can have some ugly consequences on the side of a road in minus 40. So
100%, like especially in Calgary here, the weather is so unpredictable. You have a random cold freeze of minus 35 degrees for a week.
Right. So there is like fixes for it, but in the end, he just didn't want the vehicle anymore. So we actually took it back after 3 weeks, which usually doesn't happen, but we kind of felt his pain and we got him one that didn't have the air ride and switched it out and he was very happy.
Fair enough. Was it the same truck at the end of the day that he ended up leaving with?
No. He got a whole new truck. It was about pretty comparable vehicle, but we were able to take it back and get him kind of what he wanted because he didn't like the air ride system anymore.
We had a similar situation over at our store. We sold a 2009 Nissan GTR, had like 90,000 kilometers on it, and then 3 weeks later the differential goes on it. Believe it or not, it was a $19,000 bill, and we had to take care of it, obviously, because we always have to take care of things, especially in the first 3 months of ownership of the vehicle. We always take care of our clients. So that goes, and when I saw that bill, I was so shocked. But again, I guess you got to pay to play when it comes to those sports cars at the end of the day, right? But yeah, just the differential on that car was $18,000. He ended up switching out into a Challenger SRT, which is a lot more reliable, domestic.
For 100%,
sure. Right? But we're always here.
Yeah, in the end, we have great mechanics. We have warranties that we can sell, or we have the 30-day warranty all the time for anything that leaves our lot. So it's it's a great company. I feel like they've really carved a good culture in the Calgary.
Fair enough. And how long have you been with the company now?
About a year and a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of new, but I've been in a lot of different industries, and I think I've really found the one that I enjoy the most. Oil and gas. Oil field trucking, railway. I did a lot of operations, a lot of sales, and I think that House of Cars is where I'm going to be sticking for a while.
Fair enough. And how have you found have you ever purchased a car obviously from a dealership prior to working in the House of Cars?
Oh yeah.
And what do you find is the difference?
I would never buy a new car ever again.
Yeah.
I own a 2016 minivan, a Dodge Caravan, because I have a bunch of kids, but. I bought it brand new off the lot, and I'm buried by like 10 grand. And then I bought a used BMW off of House of Cars, and I'm pretty close to where I need to be. So I would highly recommend never buy new ever again. I try and preach that to my friends, but I know some people just like the new smell of cars.
My personal opinion on the whole new used thing is, if I were to buy new, it would be that dream car. I want the calipers to be green. I want this. I want that. I want it me all over it. And if I can get AJ stitched into the seats, I'm a happy man at the end of the day. 100%, right?
That's true. I'd still like the if I'm buying a McLaren, secondhand's fine.
At the end of the day, they all look sweet, right? Exactly. The doors still go up.
Yeah. The rental vehicles that we get in and sell because they're maintained so well. They've only got low kilometers for 1 year, and you already got a 20% discount on it from buying it new.
Yeah.
So, full warranty. I'm a real proponent of getting those, 1 year back vehicles, and I'll never buy new again.
So they sold her a 2019 Ram 1500 ST crew cab, Hemi, brand new, for $55,000. This is a truck I would take in on trade for like 28 grand. They sold her for $55,000 and took $2,000 down from her. And we ended up getting her a 2020 Ram ST 1500 and we sold her for $45,000. And that's a 1 year newer. Yes, it had 15K because it was a rental, but you got a 1 year newer truck, the new body style, and you saved $10,000. And she didn't have to put $2,000 down. And we paid her insurance for her.
House of Cars has always been like the old adage of like you can shear the sheep a million times, but you can only skin it once. Like if you really hurt somebody on their purchase, well, they can't come back because they're just buried in their loan. So if you are fair with everybody, if you show them exactly what they're buying, what the options that we're laying out, it's just better business, and I think that's why the little dirt lots that are all going away, that we're pretty much taking over are going to be a thing of the past real soon.
Yeah, my favorite thing is we are breaking the stigma at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like you walk in, big smiles on everyone's faces. We're not all wearing suits and ties and everything. We're all just regular people at the end of the day. We're just here to help. And we always open our doors to everybody, whether it's our community, whether it's clients, people who need help. Obviously with our Wipe Out Your Debt contest, we're always looking to give back in a way and avoid having nightmare stories because we don't want to be that company. We want to build within where we started, which is Calgary at the end of the day, right? It's our home.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing company that's been built. The culture is unbelievable, and that starts with the owners, Justin Down, and it's just a great place to be and to buy vehicles because the transparency is there, the customer service is there. I don't know. I wouldn't shop anywhere else.
But how have you found it? How have you treated your clients? How have you changed their lives?
Well, a lot of the education side of it, like people don't understand negative equity. They don't understand, that their car isn't worth what they think it is. The difference between retail and wholesale and trade. As long as you're just very open and honest and say like this is just the way this car's worth. If you just hide it in the small print. I remember buying vehicles and they're like, look at the great deal we had. And they turn around the computer and there's 500 numbers on there. You're like, oh, I don't know if that's a good deal.
Yeah.
But like if you're show comparables, you make sure they understand what they're buying. Then I feel like you can grow a business to what we have now.
I feel like I'm young in the industry and I'm constantly trying to learn. And I actually watched a video on YouTube in the 1960s. It's like the Ford dealership sales process from the 1960s. And I always try to visit different dealerships just to see their process, just to see how the way they do things. And to be honest, it's still the same as the 1960s. And it's unbelievable. Like they're still dressed the same. There's still the big price tag right on the top right corner of the car. Yeah. It's still
they're just out smoking cigarettes while you're doing it.
Yeah. It's been 60 years and nothing has changed. And that's where we come in. Right. We're just the new kid on the block. We're the fresh kid with the nice kicks. That's who we are, essentially. It's a nightmare situation that they're still stuck in that.
And everything's like regimented. You talk to the salesperson. Okay, well, let me go talk to my boss, and he goes into the big glass office, and they talk about you, and then they come back. Well, we can give you that. So, like all of our stores are wide open. The managers come sit with us. They turned the whole car scene on its head, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, like secrecy, like I want to be in like me personally, if I purchase anything, whether it be this little toy car or my actual car, I want to know everything. From start to finish. I want to know where it was built, what happened, what the history of the vehicle. I want to meet the person who's selling it to me. I want to meet the person who's signing the bill of sale at the end of the day, right? From my experience and just seeing the kind of clients that we do get from day-to-day basis is they've often been rejected by the big box guys. The guys that are making the big promotions, advertising everyone's approved, everything is like that. And from the finance aspect of it, I do see the bureaus. So I do see who's pulled their credit previously, and I know when someone has tried to get them approved and when they haven't. And from my experience, a lot of the time is that they get shown the door right away. And why is that?
I just don't think they dig into it enough. And House of Cars, we've got so many banks that we can use that from 900 credit beacons all the way down to a couple bankruptcies and a repo. So when I get someone coming in, I don't yes, they're there to find a car, but they're also there to find a solution. So they come in and say, well, I don't have very good credit. Do you have a $2,000 car? Well, no, but we have that $2,000 would be a good down payment, and we can get you approved on something. So when you turn it upside down, you go through the credit, teach them the credit, because a lot of people don't know that. Then then you match their credit with the car.
Yeah.
So instead of sitting there, I know from personal experience, I've sat in front of a car dealership and they tell me, no, I can't have that car. Well, that's embarrassing. And it's not something anyone wants to do, and probably the reason why a lot of people don't go to dealerships and maybe buy bad cars off Kijiji. Yeah. So if you can get it all approved with even just over the phone or online, and then walk in and be like, okay, well, here's my 3 choices of cars. Yeah. Well, that's a lot more or less stressful. Right?
And like what you just said right there, you can't get that car. I feel like that should be followed with, but here's what we're going to do for you. Because there is always a solution. You need a vehicle. Everyone needs a vehicle at the end of the day, especially when you live in Calgary. Our train system is not the best. We've been trying to build that South LRT for God knows how long, and it's still not happening. So we need a vehicle in minus 35-degree weather. And from what I've seen is it's our relationship with the lenders. It's our relationship with the bank reps. I have all their cell numbers. I'm constantly texting them, constantly harassing them, trying to get my clients the best deal. Because at the end of the day, if they get a good rate, I get a good rate.
Exactly.
And I have a happy client at the end of the day. And I'm not just showing them the door without giving them any solution.
Yeah. And when people are in tough situations with bankruptcies or whatnot, we do have a legit credit building scale. Like we can get you into that first car. 8-10 months later, we get you into the next car with half the interest rate. Like this isn't you're married to the car that you're about to buy. It's a process. All of a sudden, you're a 750 credit, and banks want to deal with you. You can get that house you want. You can get that motorcycle maybe. Who knows?
100%. And it's the success stories that we've seen over the years. Clients starting from bare bottom with bankruptcies and obviously judgments on their credit, whether it's due to a divorce, there's a million things. Life is so unpredictable. I mean, look what's happening right now.
Yeah,
it's almost hard to believe that we're living in the middle of a pandemic and we're still doing this podcast. It's awesome, right?
It is.
But we can help you, and we have seen it. We have success stories in House of Cars. We've seen clients go from that high interest rate to that low interest rate, from that one car that they dreaded driving off the lot to that one car that just puts a smile on their face, right? Yeah. And that's what we do, and we're always doing it, constantly changing it up, and we're changing it.
Yeah, and helping people through it. You get a new car. It might not be the exact car you want, but you get maybe some cash back to pay off the higher interest loans. Maybe you get 3-6 months no payments to get your base. Maybe we pay your insurance like we do a lot.
There's always
a lot of ways that buying a vehicle that's reliable under warranty can help you with other things in your life, like your high interest credit cards and like all the predatory loans out there like Fairstone. And
it's almost unbelievable that like a lot of these loans that are taken out, sometimes I'm in disbelief when I see them. Just seeing the interest that's being paid on these loans, it's daylight robbery. It's honestly surprising to me that they even exist. Like in this day and age, like it's completely backwards for them to even like. I just like you do the math on the payments and you're just like, wow, you've paid $3,000 and nothing's calmed down.
Exactly.
And that's where we come in, because if we can get you a car at a low interest rate, at a low payment, and you know what, you already are making that car payment. If it's a little bit more and you don't have that other debt to worry about, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and the success stories of House of Cars, you can read all the reviews. Like we've got people that start at a Versa Note and now they're in BMW X5s, and we got, I had a cousin who had zero credit. He's just always paid cash for everything, and we got him into a little Volkswagen, and now 8-10 months later, he's got a 750 Beacon. He's got 2 trucks. He's living the dream.
You can do what he wants at this point, right? Because credit is power here at the end of the day. 100%. Whenever someone says cash is king, you're like, is it though?
Yeah.
Like we can't even use cash anymore right now, man. I tried to pay for my coffee this morning. I had to pull out my credit card, everything, all that kind of stuff, right? I usually just throw in $5, call it a day, but not anymore. No one's taking cash. No one's shaking hands. No one's doing nothing, right?
Yeah.
Me personally, what I've been doing during this pandemic, obviously things have been a little bit slow. Like we're not used to our steady stream of clients and whatnot. Is I've been contacting all our old clients and just making sure they're okay. A lot of people don't know that you can get your payments deferred in this time. A lot of people don't know that they can get a rate break right now during this time. Because you can't make your payments collecting, like everyone's considered on EI right now collecting around $2,000 a month. It's tough when your payment's $500 a month, and then you have rent, and then you have your kids, you have diapers, you have this, you have that. And what I've been doing is calling them and getting them in touch directly with someone at TD Bank, directly with someone at Scotiabank, directly with someone at RBC, getting those payments deferred, because you can be on hold for 4 hours, or you can call AJ and he'll get you on the line within like 15 minutes, to be honest. We have direct lines, and that's what we do. So call us, let us help you, whether you purchase from here or not. We're here to help. We have an open door policy, whether it's for our staff or it's for our clients. My door is always open for my guys. My door is always open for our clients. They're always welcome to ask any question that they want, and they know everything going on. from start to finish, from the moment that they make first contact with us to the moment that they drive off. 5 years down the line, when they want to trade that car back in, they are in touch with us. How do you do it?
Yeah, we 100%. We make sure that everything's on paper. Everything. This is what we're selling you. This is what the warranty entails. This is how much we're going to give you for your trade-in. This is how much you're putting down, and this is going to be your payments. It's there's some places that just we're taking your car and here's your monthly payment. Well, how did it come to that number? And I don't agree with that kind of predatory sales, and House of Cars definitely doesn't do that. So we make sure that they can talk to any manager, our mechanics, everything to do with the vehicle. It's the second biggest purchase of your life is a car, right? Behind a house, it's it's a stressful time, and if you have somebody that you feel that you can trust, well, then that's 90% of the battle, right?
And that's what we're trying to do in the community. You just want to be the go-to option for a used vehicle in Calgary. And honestly, like our owner has said, Justin Klee, he's always said that we're changing the stigma and we want to be the Rolex of used car sales. And when you think of a watch, you think of Rolex right away.
Yeah.
And now when you think of cars, you're always going to think of House of Cars. For sure, it's the first one that comes to mind, especially in Calgary.
Yeah, it's a real banner for House of Cars to be growing so fast in not the best economies, right?
100%.
So
and
as if the economy gets better, well, we're going to grow even faster.
And I feel like since we've started to this day, we're still in somewhat of a recession.
Oh yeah.
Like from 2012 till now, 8 years on, and now we're 7 stores strong, and powering through, even opening up in the United States. It's incredible.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's quite the story, 100%.
Yeah, and it all goes back to customer service.
At the end of the day, it's what we put out there, right? It works, and that's why we've expanded so far, 100%. Brent, I just really appreciate you coming down today, man. I know you have a lot to do, so
Yeah,
thanks for having us.